Welcome to Bethlehem Institute of Engineering. Bethlehem Institute of Engineering is affiliated to Anna University, Chennai and approved by AICTE, New Delhi. This institution was established in the year 2008.
Good morning to you all. So last class we discussed about the basic concepts of wireless ADA and sensor networks. So today let us learn the topic routing protocols for ad hoc wireless network. So we know that an ad hoc wireless network consists of a set of mobile nodes. So nodes in the sense host. So that are connected by wireless links. The network topology in such a network may keep changing randomly. So the routing protocols that find a path to be followed by data packets from a source node to a destination node used in the traditional wired networks. But unfortunately, we cannot be directly applied in ad hoc wireless networks due to their highly dynamic topology. So due to the absence of infrastructure for centralized administration, so a variety of routing protocols for ad hoc wireless networks has been proposed. So in the recent past. So this chapter first presents the issues. So now let us see some of the issues in designing a routing protocol. So various issues are there. The first one is mobility, second one bandwidth constraint, and error-prone shared broadcast radio channel, hidden and exposed terminal problems, resource constraints, and characteristics of an ideal RP of AWN. First, we see what is mobility. So this is the major challenge while designing the routing protocols in ad hoc network, because the network topology in an ad hoc wireless network is highly dynamic due to the movement of nodes. So hence an ongoing session suffers frequent path breaks. So the disruption occurs either due to the movement of the intermediate nodes in the path or due to the movement of end nodes. So the routing protocols for ad hoc wireless networks must be able to perform efficient and effective mobility management. So the second important issue, bandwidth constraint. So the abundant bandwidth is available in wired network due to the advent of fiber optics and due to the exploitation of wavelength division multiplexing technologies. So but in a wireless network, the radio band is very limited, and hence the data rates it can offer are much less than what a wired network can offer. So this requires that the routing protocols use the bandwidth optimally by keeping the overhead as low as possible. The limited bandwidth availability also imposes a constraint on routing protocols in maintaining the topological information. And the third issue is error-prone shared broadcast radio channel. The broadcast nature of the radio channel poses a unique challenges in ad hoc wireless networks. The wireless links have time-varying characteristics in terms of link capacity and link error probability. So this requires that the ad hoc wireless network routing protocol interacts with the MAC layer to find alternate routes through better quality links. And next one, resource constraints. So there are two essential and limited resources that form the major constraint for the nodes in an ad hoc wireless network are battery life, and next one, processing power. So these are the two important resource constraints uh, in ad hoc network. And finally, characteristics of an ideal RP in the sense routing protocol for ad hoc wireless network. So due to the issues in an ad hoc wireless network environment discussed so far, so wired network routing protocols cannot be used in ad hoc wireless networks. So hence ad hoc wireless networks require specialized routing protocols that address the challenges described here. So it must be, first characteristic is it must be fully distributed. So you know that there is no centralized node to coordinate there is no centralized access point to coordinate the nodes. Uh, so it must be fully distributed, as centralized routing involves high control overhead and hence is not scalable and more fault tolerant than centralized. And the next one, frequent topology changes caused by mobility. Third, minimum connection setup time is desired. Localized state maintenance, loop-free and free from stale routes. Number of packet collisions must be kept to minimum. Convergence must be quick. Optimally use scarce resources such as bandwidth, power, computing and battery, and memory, and provide a certain level of quality of service. So this figure shows the classification of routing protocols. RP, routing protocol for ad hoc wireless networks, are classified into four major types based on routing information update mechanism, based on temporal information for routing, based on topology information organization, and miscellaneous classifications based on utilization of specific resources. So based on routing information update mechanism, we can classify further into three. The first one is table driven routing protocols, on demand, hybrid. Table driven means which is otherwise called as proactive routing protocols. On demand means reactive routing protocols. Hybrid means which is the combination of both table driven and on demand routing protocol. So some of the routing protocols available in table driven such as DSDV, WRP, CGSR, STAR, OLSR, FSR, HSR, GSR. And next to on demand is a reactive routing protocol. The protocols are DSR, AODV, ABR, SSA, FORP, PLBR. Hybrid, CEDAR, ZRP, ZHLS. So based on temporal information for routing, which is further classified into two. So first one, path selection using path history. Second one, path selection using prediction. So path selection using path history, having several routing protocols: DSDB, WRP, AODV, STAR, DSR, FSR, HSR, and GSR. Similarly, path selection using prediction, we have FORP, RABR, LBR. So based on topology information organization, further classified into two, flat routing and then hierarchical routing. In flat routing, DSR, AODV, ABR, SSA, FORP, PLBR. And in hierarchical routing, we have CGSR, FSR, HSR. And some of the miscellaneous and the other last one is miscellaneous classification based on utilization of specific resources. For example, power aware routing, PAR, routing using geographical information, LAR, routing with efficient flooding, further classified into two. One is table driven and the other one is on demand. In table driven, we have OLSR. On demand, we have PLBR. So this is the major classification of routing protocols. So routing classification. Now let us see the classification of routing protocols. So the routing protocols for ad hoc wireless networks can be broadly classified into four categories. So based on routing information update mechanism, second one, use of temporal information for routing, third one, routing topology, and fourth one, utilization of specific resources. So based on the routing information update mechanism, so the ad hoc wireless network routing protocols can be classified into three major categories. So based on the routing information update mechanism. So they are proactive routing protocol or table driven routing protocol. So in table driven routing protocols, every node maintains the network topology information in the form of routing tables by periodically exchanging routing information. So routing information is generally flooded in the whole network. Whenever a node requires a path to a destination, it runs an appropriate path finding algorithm on the topology information it maintains. So actually it is the extension of wired networks routing protocols. So the global topology information is maintained in the form of table at every node. So tables are updated frequently in order to maintain consistent and accurate state information. So we know that the mobility is the important challenge while designing the routing protocols. So topology will be changed time to time. So the table updation, tables are updated frequently in order to maintain the consistent and accurate network state information. So, for example, some of the table-driven routing protocols included here: destination sequence, destination vector routing protocol, wireless routing protocol, and the fourth one, cluster head gateway switch routing protocol, and the fourth one, source tree adaptive routing protocol. First, let us see destination sequence distance vector routing protocol. So simply we call it as DSDV. So the destination sequenced vector routing protocol is one of the first protocol proposed for ad hoc wireless network. So this is the enhanced version of Bellman-Ford algorithm. So it's very familiar algorithm for us. So it is the shortest path algorithm. So where each node maintains a table. Okay, it's a DSDV is a table driven routing protocol. So each node maintains a table. So that contain shortest path from first node to every other node in the network. So that is the major concept behind in DSDV. So it incorporates table updates with increasing sequence number tags to prevent loops to counter the counter to infinity problem and for faster convergence. Okay, so the tables are also exchanged frequently to keep up to date of the network topology. So actually, normally the table updation will be happened in two ways. So one is called incremental update and the other one is full dump. In incremental update, it takes a single network data packet unit, but in full dumps, takes multiple NDPUs. NDPUs means network data packet units. And second, in incremental update used when a node does not observe a significant change in local topology. But in full dump done either when local topology changes significantly or when an incremental update requires more than one NDPU. So the figure shows the DSDV protocols. The first figure showing the route establishment process in DSDV. In figure 2, say about the route maintenance in DSDV. So this is the network. So the first node is called it as source node, and the node 8 is called it as destination node. So several intermediate nodes available between the source and the destination. So because ad hoc wireless network is a multi-hub network, so more number of devices are connected between the source and the destination. Here, every node acts as a router. So initially, the source node does not have any awareness about the destination node and the location of the destination node. So with the help of this intermediate nodes, it will find the location of the destination node. So here tables are there. So the table consists of four important information like destination node, next node information, and the distance between the source to the next node, and the sequence number of the packet. So everything included in the routing table. Okay, for example, the destination node 2, next node also 2, source node is 1. What is the distance from 1 to 2? 1. The sequence number is 22, and second 3. So here source node is 1, the distance from, and the next node is 2, and the destination is 3. So the distance is 1 to 2 1, 2 to 3 1. So 1 plus 1 2. Here the sequence number is 26. So the sequence number is in the form of incremental numbers. Okay. So to prevent the loops. So here 8 4, destination 8, next node 4. So through this path 1 to 4, 1 to 4 to 6 to 6 to 8, 3. So finally the node reached at the destination. In the second figure, the link break occurred between 5 and 4. Link break occurred between 5 and 4. So the topology of the network also will be changed. So that should be updated in the routing table also. So the periodical table update message is required in DSDV. So for example, the connection has broken between 5 and 4, and this node only joined with 8, destination node 8. So 5, the next node is 4, distance 2, and the sequence number is 138. So that is need to be updated in the routing table. So the routing table of node 1 indicates that the shortest route to the destination node 8. So it is available through node 4 and the distance to its 3 hops. So, and next the reconfiguration of path. The end node of broken link initiates a table update message with the broken links weighted assigned to infinity and with the sequence number greater than the sequence number stored for that destination. So each node upon receiving an update with weight quickly passes it to its neighbors in order to propagate the broken link information to the whole network. So consider the case when node 5 moves from the current position when the neighbor node previous path breaks. It sets all paths passing through the broken link with the distance as infinity. So for example, when node 4 knows about the link break, it sets the path node 5 as infinity and broadcasts its routing table to its neighbor. So those neighbors detecting significant changes in their routing tables, so rebroadcast it to their neighbors. So in this way, the broken links information is propagated throughout the network. So when node 8 receives table update message from 5, it informs the neighbors about the shortest distance to node 5. So this information also propagated throughout the network. All nodes receiving the new update message with the higher sequence number set the new distance to node 5 in their corresponding table. And now see some of the advantages and the disadvantages of DSDV. First advantages, the availability of routes to all destinations at all times implies that much less delay is involved in node setup. Second advantage is existing wire network protocol can be applied to ad hoc wireless network. So the disadvantage is the updates due to broken link leads to a heavy control overhead. And the second one, in order to obtain information about a particular destination, a node has to wait for a table update message initiated by the same destination node. And the next routing protocol is wireless routing protocol. So the wireless routing protocol is also similar to DSDV, which inherits the properties of the distributed Bellman-Ford algorithm. But anyway, the WRP uses a set of tables to maintain more accurate information. So the table maintained some of the information like distance table DT, okay. So which is the consumes the distance predecessor node for a particular destination. And next one is routing table. It consists of shortest distance, predecessor information, successor flag. And the third one, link cost table, LCT, cost of relaying through each link. Fourth one, message retransmit table. Here entry for every update message that is to be retrieved and counter for each entry. So the figure shows the WRP routing protocol. Here also the node 1 is a source ID, 9 is the destination ID. So in between several nodes connected with some weight values. Also routing entry at each node for destination ID 9. Second figure denotes route maintenance. So the DT, that means distance table, contains the network view of the neighbors of a node. It contains the matrix where each element contains the distance and the penultimate node reported by a neighbor for a particular destination. The RT contains the up-to-date review of the network for all known destinations. The LCT contains the cost, that means the number of hops to reach the destination of relaying messages through each link. The cost of a broken link is infinity. MRT contains entry for every update message that is to be retransmitted and maintains a counter for each entry. When a node detects a link break, it sends an update message to its neighbors with the link cost of the broken link set to infinity. So the link break occurred between 7 and 9. So as we know that the ADA wireless network is a self-organizing and self-healing network. So the neighboring node immediately support to make a connection with the destination, and which is propagated throughout the network, and the broken link is set it as infinity. So further cannot their packets are forwarded through that network. And let us see some of the advantages of WRP. It has the same advantages as that of DSDV. In addition, faster convergence and involves fewer table updates. So this is the advantage of WRP. So the disadvantage is complexity of maintenance of multiple tables, demands a larger memory and greater processing power. At high mobility environment, the control overhead involved in updating table entries is almost as same as that of DSDV, and hence is not suitable for highly dynamic and also for very large ad hoc wireless networks. And the next protocol is cluster head gateway switch routing protocol. Simply call it as CGSR. So from the name itself we know the groups each nodes are grouped into number of clusters. clusters. And we have cluster head. So each cluster consists of cluster head, and the remaining nodes are called it as members of that cluster head. So the CGSR employs hierarchical nodes, hierarchical networks topology, unlike other table-driven routing approaches that uses flat topologies. Here cluster head gateway. So here gateway node is also there. So the gateway means the particular node can able to communicate with two different cluster head, two different cluster heads. So that node is called it as gateway node. The CGSR organizes nodes into cluster. So the cluster head coordinates all the nodes in cluster. So the cluster heads are elected dynamically by employing a least cluster change algorithm. A node ceases to be a cluster head only when it comes under the range of another cluster head where the tie is broken either using lowest ID or highest connectivity algorithm. So this figure shows the CGSR. Here, this green nodes are called it as cluster heads, and this ash color denotes the gateway nodes. So the cluster heads are elected using the least cluster change algorithm. So it is a special node. It has the special capability to coordinate all the members of that cluster. So the members can communicate only through that cluster head. Suppose the node can able to communicate with the cluster, two different cluster heads means two different cluster head means that is called it as that is what I say gateway node. So the node 5 can able to communicate the cluster head 11 as well as the cluster head 1. So the node 5 is called it as gateway node. So in addition, each node maintains a routing table which keeps track the list of next hop nodes for reaching every destination cluster. So each node before sending date gets token from its cluster head, it obtains the destination. So cluster head and the next hop node from cluster member table and the routing table respectively. So a path from any node A to any node B will be similar to A to C1 and then G1, then C2, then G2 up to CI to CJ. So where CI, CJ, GI and CJ are the gateway, ith gateway and jth cluster head. A path from node 2 to node 10 would follow 2 to 1, 3 to 7 and then 10. 2 to 1, 1 to 3, 3 to 7 and 7 to 10. So the advantage of CGSR clustering provides CGSR is a hierarchical routing scheme, so which enables partial coordination between the nodes by electing cluster heads. So it is easy to implement priority scheduling schemes with token scheduling and gateway code scheduling. The disadvantages: increase in path length and instability in the system at high mobility. So when the rate of change of cluster heads is high, and the power consumption also very high in CGSR. And the next one is source tree adaptive routing protocol. The source tree adaptive routing protocol is proposed by Garcia Luna Acivas, and SPAN is a variation of table routing protocols with the least overhead routing approach as the key concept rather than the optimum routing approach that was employed by earlier table driven routing protocols. So during initialization, a node sends an update message to its neighbor. Also, every node is required to originate update message about new destination, the changes of routing loops and the cost of paths exceeding a given threshold. Hence, each node will have a path to every destination node, path to suboptimal, path B suboptimal. So the absence of label link layer broadcast mechanism, it originates an update message to all its neighbors, indicate the absence of a path to destination D. After getting the source tree update from a neighbor, the node S means source, update its source tree, and using this it finds the path to all nodes in the network. So the presence of label broadcast mechanism, the star implicit route maintenance, the link update mechanism about the availability of a next hop node which triggers an update message from a neighbor, so which has an alternate source tree indicating an alternate next hop node to the destination. So when an intermediate node receives a route repair update message, it removes itself from the top of the route repair path and path, and the reliable sends it to the head of the route repair path. So advantage is low overhead among all the table driven routing protocols. So the use of LoRa approach in this table driven reduces the average control overhead compared to several other on demand routing protocol. So that's all about the proactive routing protocol. So proactive routing protocol is otherwise called as table driven routing protocols. So the table driven routing protocols, every node maintains the network topology information in the form of routing tables. So by periodically exchanging routing information is generally flooded in the whole network. Whenever a node requires a path to a destination, it runs an appropriate path finding algorithm on the topology information it maintains. So that's all about the proactive routing protocol. For the next class, we see the reactive routing protocol. Thank you.